Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Preparing for BGR and BGRi session for Indianapolis. My name is Craig Johnson. I serve as the Director of Orientation Programs at Purdue University, and we are extremely excited to welcome you to campus in just a few short days. The purpose of this session that you're watching right now is to prepare you for it, to give you all sorts of information before your arrival. We're going to talk about an overview of how best to prepare for BGR and BGRi. We're going to talk to some campus and community partners to help learn a little bit more about some of our great colleagues and of whom you'll see a little bit with when you check in with us on site in Indy. We'll go through the move-in schedule and talk through what the process looks like for those living with us on campus. And then we'll also spend some time going actually over the BGR and BGRi schedules. We'll finally close with some last minute announcements to make sure that you are doing the steps necessary to make sure that you're running into a smooth transition when you get here. Without further ado, we are going to start first by talking to a couple of community partners, and we're going to talk first with their colleague, Jeff Sieber from University Bookstore. Jeff and his team have been great partners for many, many years, and we're excited to have him back to supporting Indianapolis. So, Jeff, can you tell the people how you and your team are involved with our programs in Indy?
Hi, Craig. Yeah, thanks for having me again. Yeah, it's probably our third or fourth year with helping you with Indy. So
That's right.
we're excited to be involved again, and we'll be providing a free mom, dad, or family shirt down at in Indianapolis. You can pick those up at registration, and that's about it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can also find us at PurdueU.com.
Yeah, that's perfect. So the family shirts that Jeff just described, there's going to be a parent welcome that, and Virginia will go through this in a few minutes, a separate parent welcome that'll be held at the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library. That's right across the street from the Purdue Student Center. And so all those shirts are going to be there with the Parent Family Connections team. And then Jeff and his team has also created new student tees. And so as a Purdue student, you'll be able to pick that up at during our program as well. So although there's not a brick and mortar location in Indy, you can, if you ever find yourself in West Lafayette, Jeff and his team have a couple of spots there. Jeff, do you want to share with them where you're physically located
Yeah,
in West
yeah.
Lafayette?
Yes, you can find us across from the Union. That's our main store. It's 360 West State on the corner of Mitch Daniels and Grant Street. And you can also find us at our stadium location. That's across from Mackey Arena on Northwestern Avenue. So, and like I said already, you can find us on the web anytime at PurdueU.com.
Perfect. Well, and Jeff and UBS have been part of the Purdue community for decades at this point, if
Yeah,
not a century,
20
right? Is
years.
it is it
It's almost
almost?
1939. So yeah, almost.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Quite a few years.
Okay, so we got a
You put me
little
on the
bit
spot with
less.
my math.
There you
Yeah.
go. So they've been a part of the Purdue fabric for a long, long time. So it only made sense to have them part of it in India, and they've done just a great job in representing there too. So Jeff, thanks as always for your support, especially for Indianapolis, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Craig.
The next partner I'd like to introduce you to is Carrie North. She's from Purdue Federal Credit Union, some folks that have been great partners with us for many, many years. So, Carrie, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
If you could tell all the people watching all the great things that you're doing for us to support BGR and BGRi.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. We're excited to be a partner again this year. You guys might have seen information about us through the BGR emails that have come out. So we are a full service financial institution. We're a credit union, but that just means we're owned by our members, not shareholders like a bank, but we do offer all of the same products as a bank does. We always offer a fun t-shirt every year for new student checking accounts. So I have one to show you this year. So this is our t-shirt design this year. So every new checking account opened by a Purdue student will get this t-shirt. So we're pretty excited about that design, and it kind of coordinates nicely with our Pete debit card. So I had to bring that to show as well.
Nice. Yeah, those are always hot commodities. I love seeing them around campus. I may have to try and persuade you to get one of those myself, but
You know the right
that's for
people,
another day.
Craig. So
That's right.
we could probably make
So,
that happen.
good. Carrie and team will be at our BGR and BGRi check-in. And so you'll be able to open up accounts right there in the student
Mhm.
center off Indiana Avenue where all the check-in and everything is. And so in Indianapolis, you don't have any standalone brick and mortar locations, but you do certainly in the greater Lafayette community.
Yep.
And because you're a credit union, you've got
Yes,
access for a lot of other places, right? Can you talk about
correct.
that a little bit?
Yes. Yeah, so we belong to a shared branching network, and that also includes some surcharge-free ATMs. So it's a network of thousands of shared branches and surcharge-free ATMs all around Indianapolis and the country. So if your student does leave the Indianapolis area later, there are ways to access your Purdue Federal account all across the country, not just Indianapolis as well. As you mentioned before, we will be at the resource fair, and we'll be opening accounts on site there. And a new feature that we have just recently launched is instant access to your debit or credit card via digital wallet. So after we open your account there on site, we'll be able to get you set up with digital banking, and then you can actually just instantly push your card to your digital wallet to be, again, using it immediately there.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for everybody
So,
that's watching, yeah, like Carrie and team are going to be live in person, even though they don't have a branch there, to help get you these things instantly if you so
yes.
desire. So
Yep.
that is such a great benefit. That's such a cool feature that'll be new and particularly helpful for these Indianapolis students. So
Yeah.
um, how else can they connect with you? I know you've got website and socials and all sorts of
Yep.
stuff. So how can
Yep.
folks connect with you in Purdue Federal?
Right. Yeah. Like you said, we're active on all social media accounts. Instagram is a big one for Purdue students, but our website has abundance of information. That's purduefed.com/students. Highlights all of the things that you might need to know for your student accounts, or also it has a ton of financial wellness resources as well.
Okay, amazing. Well, if you've got questions for Carrie or team, like they will be right there at the Purdue
Yep.
Student Center, ready, willing, able to help you out, set up those accounts and answer any financial wellness questions for you. So, Carrie, thanks again to you and company for being
Yep.
such great partners over the years. Can't wait to see you in Indy.
Yeah. We're excited for another year.
Many thanks to Jeff Sieber and Carrie North from University Bookstore and Purdue Federal Credit Union for being great supporters of our work. Again, as a reminder, you'll see them on site at the Purdue Student Center when you check in for BGRi and BGR. Without further ado, though, we're going to shift gears and talk about the move-in process. So I'm going to hand it over to one of our associate directors, the site lead for orientation programs in Indianapolis, Virginia Johnson.
All right. Thanks so much, Craig. Hello, everyone. My name is Virginia Johnson, and I serve as the Associate Director of Orientation Programs in Indianapolis for our Purdue University. So this year will be my 11th Boiler Gold Rush, which is really nutty to say out loud. I've had the privilege of welcoming new students for many, many years, both in West Lafayette prior to transitioning to Indianapolis. This is now my third Boiler Gold Rush in Indianapolis, and so I'm so excited to welcome our new Boilermakers to campus. We have a lot of really exciting things to share with you all. Really what's in store and is upcoming here in Indy. So before we get into that though, and the schedule and all those important details, we have a very special guest with us today. So we have Krista Pizzera from University Residences. She serves as a Director of Residential Life at Purdue University, and she's here with us today to talk about all things related to move-in, the process here in Indianapolis, and how you can best prepare in advance of your arrival for your big move-in day. So hello, Krista. Welcome.
Hey, Virginia, thanks for having me here. Big Boilermaker welcome to all of our incoming Boilermakers and their families and friends that are supporting them. In my role, I get to be of course, as Virginia said, the Director of Residential Life. That means I get to work with the professional staff that oversees the spaces from building residential community, the resident assistants, and then also the different student organization types of things in West Lafayette and Indianapolis, and student leadership opportunities, learning communities, those types of things, front desky types of things. So all the people parts for West Lafayette and Indianapolis. But today we're here to talk to you about your particular opportunities in Indianapolis. So thanks for having me today, Virginia.
Yeah, of course. We're so happy you're here. So we're going to jump right into the really good stuff. So Krista, tell us a little bit about yourself and just your role at Purdue. How long have you been here? What have you experienced at Purdue, and why?
Yeah.
I was
fun. It was fun listening to you say you've had 11 Boiler Gold Rushes, and I was like, I think I was here before there were Boiler Gold Rushes. That's how long I've been at Purdue, and so I've started my 28th year. Corn Camp, yes. There's more than corn, and now it's Boiler Gold Rush. But 28, I started my 28th year. My whole time's been working in housing, university residences, and then the last decade or so, I guess, 15 years maybe, I've focused more in the residential life component. And so that's with the resident assistants, that's with the student organizations in our buildings, our front desks, learning communities, faculty in residence, executive in residence, those types of things. So I've been really grateful to have these opportunities. I myself was a student that lived in university residences. I'm a twice over Boilermaker from the School of Education. So I believe in the work we do here. And I'm really grateful to be able to be here to try and help get everybody in that last moment of readiness before we get moved in to start the year here in August.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh my gosh, I forgot to share that I'm a Purdue alum too. And
Yes,
so
you are.
I got my master's at Purdue. So
Yes, you did.
I too am a Boilermaker. So
Right.
all right. So before we get started into the program details, like I said, and
Yeah.
the schedule of BGR,
Yeah.
Chris, I'm curious, what are the keys to a successful move-in?
For sure, for sure. So I know that our incoming students are getting a load of communication, right? And so it is probably the most important thing to pay attention to that communication, because that can help with planning before you leave the house, when you get to campus. And so first and foremost, please read those emails that are coming your way, and look at the key dates and times in there. In that information, you would have received, hey, you've been given a move-in time slot. Go into your housing portal and check that out so that you can arrive at that particular time. And it's super important that you arrive at the time of the time slot, because I know everybody's excited to be here. We are glad you're excited, right? We're excited to see you. The best way for us to see you is at the time slot that you've been given, because it helps us move the flow of traffic around. It helps us have the resources available from everything from our Boiler Gold Rush team leaders who are excited to see you, to our campus volunteers who want to be able to help, to the other resources and offices able to manage the flow of people and Boilermakers and their families at that time. So first and foremost, read your email and stick to your time slot. Then when you get to campus and you get into that time slot and you're in the moving kind of moment there, if you're using resources like our carts or the elevators or those types of things, please make sure that we're using them efficiently and they're getting returned and they don't get stuck in a room or apartment, because that doesn't make it easy for us to have somebody else to use them, because they're just, we've got a lot of people and we need to share, right? The final thing would be with that time slot, follow the time that you're designated and go ahead after the quick unload, move the vehicle to the parking spaces and lots that we tell you about. That's so that then the next group that comes in gets the same opportunity as you all to go ahead and move things quickly out of the vehicle and then go ahead and make space for the next team to come in, the next family team to come in.
Yeah.
So we just really appreciate your help with that. The final thing that I will say about this move-in process would be, well, two things. Oh, I fibbed. The second to last thing would be that idea of downloading mobile credentials and taking care of that. And then also checking into the housing portal either right before you arrive or while you're in line waiting to check in, because then you'll show us a green bar. There'll be a QR code that you'll scan in line. It's really, we've got it pretty much down to a science now. We took all of our learning that we had from West Lafayette, and we've really been able to refine it down in Indianapolis, working with our partners like Virginia down there to make this happen. So go ahead and do that check-in. And then finally, review our policies website. There are things, because we all live in one big house together, that we can't always bring for the safety of everybody involved. So as much as I love the smell of a good candle, when my first year student, because I have a Boilermaker starting this year in West Lafayette, and when she comes, she will not be bringing a candle to the residence hall that she's moving into, because that can so quickly, if it's unattended, cause damage and injury to folks if we have those. So there are things on the website that we cannot bring simply because we need to try and keep everybody as safe as possible. So please review that before you come, because if we do see something, we will ask you to take that on home, just to make sure we follow our policies and guidelines. And I don't want us to meet that way. But if we do, we'll have a great conversation and educational, and we'll thank you for your help. So do a little review of that.
We will support you no matter what.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Krista. Yeah,
Yeah.
so those are really the overarching keys to
Yes.
successful move-in, right?
Yeah.
So Krista alluded a little bit to this, but you will have help if you're moving in between 9 and 3
Absolutely.
p.m. at both North Hall and Lux on Capitol Apartments here in Indianapolis. So our BGR team leaders and team supervisors, our student staff that has been with us for about a year now and have been trained and really, really excited to welcome you, will help bring your belongings into your residence hall. And so anything that you allow them to pick up from your car, your luggage, whatever it may be, they will take it in and help you get settled into your actual room. Anything you don't want them to touch, just simply say, that's fragile, that's sensitive, that's sentimental. We got that, and we will respect that. And so really you'll have a lot of help as long as you're moving in during the BGR check-in and move-in window. So again, that's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on both August 14th if you're an international student, and 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. on August 17th, Monday, if you are a domestic student. So with that, Krista also alluded to where parking you may want to park after you moved in. So if you're moving into North Hall, Lot 71 is where you're going to be directed to park after you moved in comfortably at no cost, to, go back into the room and help your students settle in and unpack and do whatever it is that you need to do. And then Lot 92 is actually the parking lot that will be relaxed the entire week of Boiler Gold Rush, for both students commuting on and off to campus during the week of, parents, families, everybody basically associated with BGR. So those details will be found in the BGR Final Details website, addresses and directions to parking. So we got you covered there. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about more specifically the move-in windows. So what's the process for moving in during BGRi and BGR, Krista?
Yeah. So you're going to, look up the directions to get to your assigned housing location, and then you'll follow the directions to get to either one of those locations. Once you arrive, there's going to be A-frames that are going to have giant QR codes on them. And so you're going to take your little phone, and you can see I've got my petunia on the back of my little phone, and you're going to take your camera and you're going to scan, and that's going to get you right to the housing portal. And in there, you're going to go ahead, and the Boilermaker student, our Purdue student, is going to go ahead and log in like they've done before. This is the place where they've gone to find out about their housing assignment, to sign up about things. So they're very familiar with where this is. Go ahead and log in, and then there's going to be a place to be able to say check-in. And so you go ahead and follow that through, check in, and then there'll be a little green bar that comes across the top. And so people will say, hey, I need to see your green bar. You'll show them that you've checked in, and we'll know that you've gone ahead and double checked all the information that is auto-populated in there, enter anything that maybe needs to be added. And it just helps us make sure that our records are accurate. We've got contact information like we need. So that's why we have you go ahead and do that ahead of time, so you don't have to pop out of the car and we have to fill in everything in a computer. It moves things along very quickly. Then when you get up there, and you'll pop out, you'll be a tent or a table, and they will give you either your key or your fob, and information on how to get into your room or apartment space. And then you'll go ahead and pull around. They'll put you in a parking space, and then we'll just start the unloading process. And so that's about how easy it is. I'm going to double check my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think so, but if you see anything, Virginia, please jump in and
no, it really is that simple, right?
Yeah.
As long as you have that move-in pass, and you arrive at the time that you are assigned to move in, we're going to be able to get you in and out really, really quickly.
And you said that was good, the move-in pass. Thanks so much for helping with that. You have we asked that you print off a move-in pass that you can put in your the dashboard of your vehicle. That lets us know, where you're going. If there was like a hiccup maybe while you were in the move-in, it's got your information there so that we can call and say, hey, we need you to move your vehicle, or is there trouble up there we can help you with to get it going along. But that also lets us know, yep, you're there at the right time to move in. And there's instructions on that move-in pass as well. So thanks for saying that, Virginia. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you can print that in advance, that is preferred. If you don't have access to a printer, that's okay. We'll work with you as long as you have that move-in pass up,
Mm-hmm.
invisible, some way, somehow, we will be good.
Yeah. You can show it to us on
So
your phone. Yeah.
exactly. So really, you move into your residence hall before you come to Boiler Gold Rush check-ins.
Right.
We want to make
That's
sure
right.
that you're settling in into your new home before you get settled into the program. So if you arrive by airport or rideshare, Krista, I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious, what instructions or tips or advice do we have for students that are arriving via airport here in Indianapolis or from Chicago?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. I
or
mean, the times as far as either if you've secured transportation from the airport, they are very familiar with where to get you to on the Purdue in Indianapolis campus. Also, though, telling them and sharing those, looking up those addresses in advance of your housing locations to be able to give that to if you are doing a ride share or you're working with an Uber or something in that regard. Just having that address is really helpful for them. But then they too can drop you off at the designated location, and we can even help you get from the beginning of the parking lot over to where we're starting to help unload you and get checked in. So
right.
that's what I'd recommend with that.
Yeah.
I've got notes here that I'm double checking just to make sure I don't
Yeah,
skip
you're good.
anything.
You're good.
So
Pretty good. So yeah, so Indianapolis Airport is super close to campus. So if you're
yes,
arriving there, plenty of rideshare opportunities
available.
available for you to come to campus. If you're arriving
Mhm.
in Chicago, there are shuttles that can take you to either directly to West Lafayette, and then the Campus Connect can take you to Indianapolis. And so there are many options that you can explore on our BGR Final Details website when that comes out. So check your email for addresses, instructions. We got you covered.
And I would say if there is ability to be able to reserve in advance,
Yes.
that's good. It's also we also know sometimes things get delayed. So
Great.
if you have that reservation, if there's flexibility to adjust it, please look into that.
For
So.
sure. For sure. Okay, so we're gonna go move on in our conversation to how
Mhm.
long do I
Yeah.
have to unload my car to move in? How many guests can I bring with me, Krista?
Right.
What's available for me when I'm there?
Right.
Yeah,
So when you arrive, we're going to probably put you in a queuing fashion. You'll be in a line. We may even put you into a couple of parking spaces and then move you to the next parking space just to try and just to start organize people, right?
okay,
Because we don't have 50 parking spaces to put people in. We maybe have 10 and to try and quickly unload. That move-in window that you're going to get is going to seem pretty short, right? You're thinking, oh my gosh, I've got 30 minutes to move in. How is that going to happen? Well, you're not moving in and unpacking in that 30 minutes. What you're doing is just getting items out of the vehicle and getting them up to the room. And so our preference is always for people to have one vehicle. If for some reason people have two vehicles because they're maybe bringing multiple people to campus and part of the stuff is in one vehicle and part of the stuff is in another, we can work with it. We just may need to move vehicles. They may not be able to be right next to each other depending on what spaces open up and that type of thing. But you'll have help there during the designated times to unload things. There will also be carts to be able to unload into and take up. Now, if you've got a bag of pillows, I wouldn't throw that in the cart. I'd put that on your shoulder and take it with you. I'd put the things in the cart that you don't want to have to haul around up there and let the wheels do the work, right? But take the lighter things with you because then that gives more room and space in the cart. Um, also, taking 6 carts leaves away carts for other people. It doesn't leave carts for other people. So we're just trying to all work together during this move-in time.
right.
But there also may be, if you're on a first floor, it may be easier for you just to walk some of the lighter things up and not wait for the elevator. We will have folks running the elevator, but there are times where people say, you know what, you take my stuff, I'm going to walk up and meet you at my room or apartment because they know it's 2 flights. You can do that. It's amazing the amount of steps I get in a day during move-in. So those are just kind of some things I would recommend. But then when that vehicle's unloaded, someone comes down and moves that car to the parking lot, because then it makes room for other people.
Right.
The reason you were able to pull into a space is because somebody else moved out of the way. And so we need you to go ahead and do that too. So thanks for
Right.
your help with that in advance. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and so in addition to that, so our BGR team supervisors, so our student leaders that are there,
Hmm.
when you pull up with your car to the unloading zone, they will ask you for the driver's name. They will ask you for the student's name and room number, and then a phone number so we can contact the driver. So this is our way of ensuring that we're adhering to the 30-minute window as close as possible so we can keep everything going. And if we need to call you to say, hey, time's up, please,
Hmm.
head on over downstairs and head on over to the parking lot across the street. We will do that, right? And so
Hmm.
know that you'll be asked a few pieces of info upon arrival, so our student leaders can keep things flowing too. So
Yeah, sometimes people get up there, they're enjoying the unpacking process. Other times the elevator's, running a little
right,
behind. And so just letting us answering the phone and letting us know where you're at in the process just really helps us. So thanks for that,
absolutely.
Virginia. We appreciate your team making those calls and
Yeah, it really is a team
getting
effort.
reminders out. It sure
Yeah.
is.
So, Krista, if I want to bring my whole family with me, so
Yeah.
my uncle, my grandma, my all my
Yeah.
siblings,
Yeah.
everybody, because we're close and they want to send me off, can I
Yeah.
bring my whole family?
Yeah. I mean, you can. We prefer that there's only one or two people helping you move, actually physically move in. Just especially, with the elevators and that type of thing. Go ahead, get through that kind of move in process. If people can kind of be to the side, having all the people, and when people get there and visually see it, if you had 10 people at each car, you would understand why we couldn't have 100 people out there on the line at the time. And so if you want to give people, one box to go ahead and take up the stairwell and have those seven little ants help you carry things up, that is easier. But to try and put 7 to 10 people of all of our people who have loved you and helped you with your success, which we know is so important because we can't do this on our own as parents or families. We need help from everybody. To put everybody on the elevator and do that, it just really doesn't help us to move the process along. So that would be my recommendation, that you have 1 to 2 folks helping you. You get them unloaded, and then if they want to go up the elevator or the stairs. Now, if somebody has a mobility concern and auntie or grandmama wants to go up and see you, I don't want them not to see your room,
Right,
right? That's important. I mean, when my dad came, or when my grandparents came, or my great aunt came, they needed to see that space because they were part of it.
right.
And that's important. Or the neighbor who helped you through watched you after school, right? That's important. Yet if we put 10 people in the elevator, that we,
Yeah. I resonate with that. My grandma moved me in back in the day, and she immediately was like, "All right, I'm going to clean everything. I'm going to wipe
yes,
everything down." She wanted to be useful
yeah,
and contribute to
yeah,
my experience.
yeah,
I'm a first generation student, so I was the
yep,
first to go to college, and so it was a big deal. So we
yeah,
understand that for
yeah,
a lot of families. So just, for us, it's just alleviating congestion as much as possible because there's
right.
a lot of moving parts, a lot of
Hmm.
people during the moving period. So just we ask
Yeah,
that you work with us and be patient with us, right, as we're
yes,
navigating that.
and kind of pick and choose who's at the forefront, and then let's put some people over and get them up to the room another way. So,
Right.
but again,
Right.
we want to help with mobility issues and use elevators as needed for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so Krista, you mentioned that moving and unloading pass
Yeah.
earlier.
Mhm.
So where do I find that if I'm a student and
Yeah, that's at that housing portal. That's at that housing portal that they're familiar with. And it'll say print my move-in pass. And you can have that there. And again, as Virginia said, we'd love to have that printed out because it's just easier. Sometimes, Wi-Fi is working. Most of the time it's working, but I'm just saying,
yeah,
like, if there's a telephone issue or something and it doesn't quickly download. I mean, I had that the other day, and I was just a block away from Indianapolis, and then it popped right back up. And so, or here in West Lafayette, or in Lafayette, for work,
yeah,
not work, home. But just to have that printed out, then you don't have to worry about that. I'm waiting for it to load. I thought I had it up, that type of thing. Usually,
right,
we don't have concerns, but
right,
it just if we use paper and print it out, it bypasses that part of the
right.
technology.
It
So
might save you a
find it
few
there,
minutes.
print it out. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so Krista, what happens if I arrive late or I move in
Yeah,
after hours?
for
I
sure, for
select the
sure.
late night, overnight option because I know
Yep,
my flight is going to be delayed or I'm
yep,
just not going to make it on the 14th or the
right.
17th
Yeah,
or the time restrictions.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you find you're going to be coming a different date, you can go into the portal and the housing portal and look to change your time and move it to a different time. If you're unable to do that, if it's happening kind of like in the process, right? There's a flat tire, there's an airplane delay, and you can't get in and say I'm coming. We may wind up calling you and saying, "Hey, we thought you were going to be here. Are you? Is everything okay?" And all you just have to do is tell us, "I'm still coming. I'm just going to be a little later." If you come after that time that's set in the evening or overnight hours, we have on-call phone numbers that are posted at each of the buildings. And that's our student staff. They're going to answer the phone. If for some reason they don't they usually answer the first time, but if for some reason they don't answer the first time, I want you to go ahead and leave a message and call, give them 5 minutes and call back, because many times in that case, they're helping somebody else or they're responding to another concern or question. So give them a second and then try and call back in 5 minutes. But we have people on call overnight and to be able to help. And they are all trained on how to check you in through the system and then make sure you've got your access to your room or apartment. And that's why we pay them. And so they'll be in training the week before everybody arrives, and they'll still continue a little bit of training, but they're going to be ready to help you. And if you've got a question that they're not quite sure to answer, there are 3 levels of on call past that for them to be able to help get you an answer. So we got a team ready to go and help you.
Yes, absolutely. So if you arrive late, we got you covered. The
Mhm.
only difference is that our BGR team leaders that are
Right,
volunteers, they won't be there anymore to help
right,
unload. And so
right.
university residents, the staff will, of course, be there to support you. But just know that because they're volunteers, they're only available to help 9 to
Right.
3 on those moving days.
So the RAs will be able to find carts to be able to get them to you, but they'll likely have to then go respond to another caller or question that they get. So they won't necessarily be able to physically help. They'll be able to say, "Here are the carts. When you get in here, they'll direct you to the elevators and make sure you've got resources that way, and even hopefully be able to come back and check in on you to make sure you've got the move happening." So,
For sure. Yeah. So building will be open no matter
yep,
what time you arrive. We will get you here and
right.
moved in successfully. So
But you will have to make that phone call because the doors
yes,
do lock, and
right.
so that's why we've got the on-call numbers posted for
Right.
you.
The signage is posted right
Absolutely.
at the door.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 other important things
For
that
sure.
I would like to add. So BGR check-in, right? So you've
Mhm.
moved in, you've unpacked, you've started to make your new home a little bit cozy.
Mhm.
Um, you're getting ready to say farewell to your family. Don't let them go yet before coming to BGR check-in, right? So they are
Yes.
welcome to check into the program with you, pick up their
Mhm.
family t-shirt across the street
Mhm.
at the Kurt Vonnegut Museum. And then really, this is where the student will get credentials. You'll be able to connect with different campus partners. So, for example, IU Parking will be there. So, if you're interested in a parking pass for the academic year, we do
Mhm.
work with our shared resources with IU for that. So, you can connect with them and sign up for that there. We'll have the Disability Resource Center present at check-in. So, if you need accommodations, not only for Boiler Gold Rush, but for the academic year, you'll be
Mhm.
able to connect with their staff as well. We'll have Purdue Information Technology there. So if you show up and you're like, help, my laptop doesn't work, how do I connect to campus Wi-Fi? Or you're having any tech problem or question, they'll be able to help you there. And then trying to think who else will be there. University Bookstore will be distributing new student t-shirts to students. And again, like I said, parent t-shirts will be across the street. So definitely don't forget to pop over to the museum so you don't leave empty-handed without your t-shirt before you head home. And then I'm trying to think who else might be there. I think those are the big ones at BGR check-in. So I got it covered. And then know that the day that you move in, students, is the day that your meals start for BGR. So you have access to breakfast, lunch, and dinner during Tower Dining's hours of operation on both the 14th and the 17th, or whatever day that you move in, if you're coming later. So no need to go hungry or anything like that. All you do is show up to Tower Dining, you'll have your BGR credentials on. You'll swipe in your digital Crimson card at the door, and you'll be good to go. And then on Tuesday night, know that we begin to track our student leaders through meals. So in order to get through dining efficiently and alleviate congestion, you'll be assigned a time to go with your new student starting at dinner on Tuesday in West Lafayette when we're up there. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm going into the schedule now, but I'm just so excited. So just know meals, you're good. Now, if you do want to, go out to dinner or have a final meal with your family, you're more than welcome to do that. Krista, do you feel like a lot of folks do that? And any recommendations?
For sure, for sure. I mean, and there's so many places to eat
Yeah.
in Indianapolis. I'm exploring as I go down there, and I'm driving. And I mean, I've always been a fan of Indianapolis, but now that I'm working down there, to be able to see all the different types of food options that are available, pretty neat. If you do think that's something you're going to do, I might recommend getting a reservation if possible at a location just to kind of make your timeline be a little smoother there. So I do think people do they like to go just break bread and have a little meal before they go home. So
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So really we're at the end of our conversation here, Krista. So thanks so much for all of this information so
yeah,
far. At this
thank you.
point, yeah, absolutely. What would you say now to really summarize the most important points of
Yeah, yeah,
today's?
yeah. I would just say read your emails. Plan ahead for that timeline to be able to get down there by move-in time. Kind of plan your idea of, okay, here's my vehicle. Here, if I was going to go ahead and move these things out, I'm just remembering that I'm getting things up to the room and I will move the vehicle and have time to set up later. Making sure that you have your phone charged and any starter kits or pre-work that you need to do as far as mobile credentials or Crimson Card, go ahead and get that knocked out.
Right.
Because if you're doing that on the side, you can, but it can sometimes just delay communication and access. And so I would recommend not starting that, the night before. I'd say let's go ahead and get that finished and checked off the list now, because that way, if you do have something that we can help troubleshoot with you, we can do that in advance. And then just be ready to make your space a home and get involved and participate in all of Boiler Gold Rush. Even if there's a morning where you're maybe a little tired, take a big deep breath and get some oxygen in there and be ready to just participate, because you're making friends, you're learning about resources, and it's really intended and set up and designed to help you get situated and be ready to be successful on your
Yeah.
Purdue journey. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we have such great staff here to really just take good care of your child, right?
Mm-hmm,
Maybe your
mm-hmm.
first that you're sending to college, maybe your last, and you're like, woohoo.
Yeah,
And semester, either way, no matter what part of the journey that you're at, we're here for you.
yeah,
So really, Krista, thank you so, so much for your time today and talking us through the moving process. Students, if you need anything in the meantime, check the University Residences website.
for sure.
Contact their office if you have any questions or any needs. But thank you again, Krista, so much.
Thank you so much. Boiler up.
Boiler up. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Thanks again to Krista Pizzera for sharing an overview of the moving process. We hope that was helpful for you as you prepare to move in just a few days. And so at this point, I'd like to take us through the Boiler Gold Rush International and Boiler Gold Rush in Indianapolis schedules. So these are events that our team have been working on since last fall. And so we're really incredibly excited to finally share this with you all. We have an incredible set of team of students and staff who are getting ready for you, and that all kicks off with Boiler Gold Rush International. So let's start with the Boiler Gold Rush International schedule, or BGRi for short. So our international students that have registered for BGRi will move in on Friday, August 14th. And so from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., our Purdue Student Center will be open to welcome guests, family members, and new students to check into the program. Students will receive their name tag, their wristband, their neck wallet, as we like to say, really just a little holder for your name tag. And then get all of their credentials for Boiler Gold Rush that they'll need, connect with other campus partners, receive their new student t-shirt provided by the university bookstore, and then really just get connected to their orientation leader for the remainder of the week. We call them team leaders. And so parents and families, additionally, will be hosting a parent and family welcome reception right across the street from the Purdue Student Center at the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library. And so there you can connect with the Parent and Family Connections office, talk to key administrators here at Purdue University in Indianapolis, and pick up your very own parent and family t-shirts as well from the university bookstore. So make sure after you've gone through BGR check-in to head on over across the street to the Kurt Vonnegut Museum. So that is Friday. So it's our official move-in day for our international students. Now on Saturday, August 15th, we kick off with some programming. So Boiler Gold Rush International opening ceremony will take place where we welcome all of you to Purdue all at once in the morning. And then a Banking 101 session to help international students navigate their finances here in the United States. Parents and families are welcome to that event as well. And so please join us for that really important information. And then this evening, we will actually be busing our international BGRi participants up to West Lafayette for the first time to join their international peers in West Lafayette for a BGRi Bash event. So a really fun and exciting social event for our students. Shuttles will be provided by our team. So biggest thing is just don't miss the bus and make sure that you are hydrated. You have all of your belongings that you would like to bring, your wallet, your name tag, BGR credentials, that kind of thing. And then we'll return to Indianapolis that evening. So please know that also your meals for BGR and BGRi start the day that you move into campus. So for international students, you have access to the Tower Dining Court here on campus, provided by our Indiana University in Indianapolis colleagues, since we do share many of the resources still here on campus. So you have access to breakfast, lunch, and dinner starting August 14th, or whatever day you move in case that you arrive late to our program. So please know that meals are covered. They'll be loaded onto your IU Crimson card, your digital Crimson card. So be sure to complete your IU starter kit, submit your photo in time so that you can download that to your mobile phone and be good to go for the remainder of the entire BGR program. Also, please be sure to do your Purdue photo submission for your Purdue mobile ID card as well, which you'll need for your tenure at Purdue. So that was a little bit of me going rogue, but we are still on Saturday, August 15th. So moving on to Sunday, August 16th. Programs include a traditions tour. So this is your official campus tour that your orientation team leader will lead. You will visit with the International Students and Scholars Office to learn about immigration policies and really how they support our international students while here on campus. Parents are welcome to that International Students and Scholars session, so please join us if you're here. And then that afternoon, we go straight into a BGRi safety session. So our campus partners will give an overview of how we work together to keep your students safe while they're on campus, what resources they have access to. Again, parents are welcome to this event as well. And then to close off Sunday, our trained student leaders will lead a conversation about navigating culture shock. So we know for many of our international students, this might be the first time that they're in the United States or at Purdue in general. And many things can be similar, but many things can also be different. And so we want to make sure we're supporting you and talking about the things that you might expect moving here to Indianapolis. So that is Sunday. And that is a student-only event. So parents were essentially moving on to student-only programming after dinner. On Monday, August 17th, so now this is where for Boiler Gold Rush International, we kick off with academics in the United States sessions in the morning. So a student-only session presented by expert academic advisors here on campus to talk about policies and procedures in the classroom. What is a teaching assistant? How do I use my syllabus? all of these really good nuggets of information for our students to understand their academic experience here. Then the International Students and Scholars Office will host drop-in hours. So if you need to connect with them on personal immigration or paperwork questions, you can connect with them directly that afternoon. Parents are also welcome to connect with their office too. And then we want to ensure that international students are completing what is called the Virtual International Mandatory Check-in, so VMISCI. It is mandatory for our students to complete that and essentially make sure that they're turning in their I-94 records and things like that so that we know that you've arrived safely to campus. And then that evening, we will be closing Boiler Gold Rush International with a closing ceremony. Lots of fun. We may or may not be doing trivia together in the Madam Walker Legacy Center Theater here on campus. Parents are welcome to that as well, but that will officially conclude Boiler Gold Rush International. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Boiler Gold Rush. So our international students will continue programming into Boiler Gold Rush with us alongside their domestic student peers. So on Monday, August 17th, while international students are in programming, as we've talked about, our domestic students will move into campus for the first time. So from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. again, students will move into either North Hall or Lux on Capitol Apartments, depending on their university residence's contract that they've signed. Adhere to their move-in window, like we've talked about, and really just get settled into campus. You also will have access to your breakfast, lunch, and dinner starting this day, students that move in on the 17th. And then that evening or afternoon, we'll do what we call Meet the Team. So you'll officially meet your team leader and your new student group. You'll be paired up with about 10 to 15 other new students throughout the entire week of BGR, so that you feel supported and you're making friends and you have someone that is guiding you. And then that evening, we'll do BGR trivia night with all of the domestic students. International students are welcome to stay for round 2 if they would like. But that is all of Monday, August 17th. Okay, so Tuesday, August 18th is a big day. So we do BGR opening ceremonies. So all of our BGR participants, and we have nearly 500 of us joining BGR in Indianapolis this year. So we'll all be in community together for our opening ceremony and official welcome. And then that afternoon, after lunch, we'll be heading up to West Lafayette all together on about 12 or 13 buses. They're big charter buses. And so we'll be with all of the incoming class up at Purdue together for the first time at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, which is our football stadium, for our official BGR kickoff. We will also be participating in some Purdue traditions. And so Tuesday afternoon, as soon as we get to West Lafayette, all Indianapolis students will participate in what we like to call a fountain run, which is a really fun Purdue tradition that all Boilermakers do at some point in their tenure at Purdue. And I'm really excited for our Indianapolis students to also experience this because you are Purdue too. So that is Tuesday. Please know that this evening we will be returning back to Indianapolis fairly late. And so, hydration again is important. Having a change of clothes for the fountain run, all of these things that we will remind our BGR participants to do and to bring with them. Sunblock, right? It's hot, it's August. We'll make sure to have you prepared before we actually travel up to West Lafayette. So that is Tuesday, really exciting day. We're all together. It's one of my favorite events of the week. So that is Tuesday. Okay, so then Wednesday, we're back in Indianapolis all day. So we will be participating in our open house. So this is essentially a resource fair. That picture that you see there, you can expect to connect with Purdue and IU shared services here in Indianapolis and pick up a lot of swag items, maybe a couple t-shirts, couple pens, all the really, really fun stuff. And just meet some people, right? Important people that are going to be a part of your experience, both staff and faculty. And then that afternoon, if you're a Purdue Promise student or you're a commuter student, so you'll be traveling to campus and potentially living at home and not on campus, we have specific welcome events for those populations. So want to make sure if you identify with those groups, that you attend those events so that you can gain some very tailored, specific information for you. And then that afternoon, we will move into some student mingles. So really the name of the game is making friends. So that's what we really, really want and hope for you, so that you can go into your first week of classes already knowing some people, feeling a little bit more comfortable, and just really ready for your first semester here at Purdue. One other thing that I will add, if you participated in an early start and were a summer start, or started here in the summer, we want you to also connect with new people, but also feel in community with the students that you got to know over the course of the month of July. And so you can expect to be in groups with some of your early start peers and then meet some new people as well. So we understand that your experience is a little bit different because you did have some experience on campus already, but we have a ton more to teach you, and we're really excited to have you part of BGR as well. So with that, that is Wednesday. Then on Thursday, on August 20th, the schedule is a freedom of expression session. So understanding one of Purdue's main values as a university. Then we move into public health and wellness later that afternoon, talking about, again, how the campus keeps all of our students safe, what resources you have access to, both from a health perspective and a safety perspective. So, what do I do when I get sick, right? What should I bring to campus with me? All of those good things, so that you feel prepared while you're on campus. Then that afternoon, we move into a academic college welcome. And so the College of Engineering, the College of Science, Purdue Polytechnic, Daniel School of Business, and Honors College, and also the Health and Human Sciences College this year will be in attendance. So we'll welcome all of our students in a joint college welcome. You'll connect with deans and faculty and staff from your academic college, meet students that are involved in organizations related to their major, et cetera. And so we want to make sure that you're at this event so that you feel like you're getting a really good start and connection point to essentially your major, right? Why you are here at Purdue. And then that evening, we have a really fun event planned for you all. A hypnotist, Josh McViker, will be joining us for a really enjoyable night at Madam Walker. So that is Thursday. Then on Friday, August 21st, we will move into the Boilermaker community session. And so talking about getting involved on campus. What does that look like? What student organizations are on campus? How do I go about finding them and finding my place? Because we want you to make the best of your time at Purdue and be in community with your fellow students. So that is what that session is about. And then academic success and faculty panel will take place later that afternoon. So that is presented by our Academic Success Center staff here on campus. They're wonderful, and they will be really going over the classroom experience, but you'll actually get to hear directly from some of your very own professors and faculty on campus and their tips and advice and experience in teaching here at Purdue. It's a really great time. Then later, you'll have the opportunity to attend what we call an academic preview. So this is essentially a mock first-year course. So maybe you want to check out what chemistry looks like or what calculus looks like before the start of the actual semester, and just get a little bit of a preview of what it feels like to be sitting in a classroom, potentially for the first time here at Purdue. So you get to choose your own adventure for that session block. And then that evening, we'll be closing out with what we call Boiler Bash, social programming, think inflatables, ice cream, maybe silent disco. There's a lot of really, really fun activities that we have planned for you, where you just get to relax and just enjoy the evening over at the 401 Canal Green Space this year, which is one of our most newly acquired spaces here in Indianapolis that Purdue is now in charge of. And it's right on the canal, which is beautiful here in Indianapolis. So I'm really excited to activate that space this year alongside our new Boilermakers. Okay, and then we're on the last day of BGR. So we've made it to Saturday, August 22nd. So we will close off the week essentially that afternoon with our BGR send-off ceremony. All in the Madam Walker Legacy Center Theater again. Hear from David Coleman, America's dating doctor, which is a really, really fun time. Get some really fun advice. And then that evening, we'll close out with our White River State Park concert over at the Celebration Plaza Amphitheater, right next to campus in the White River State Park. We have some really cool Purdue student bands that are really excited to play their set list for you and just have a good time. This picture here that you see is of last year and students just having the best time. So please join us for the concert at the end of the week. And that will be what officially concludes Boiler Gold Rush in Indianapolis 2026. So we know that is a lot of information about the move-in process and the BGRi and BGR schedules, but we hope it's informative and helps you prepare for what each process looks like. Feel free to reach out to our team if you have any questions at all. We're always here for you. But we're so excited to see you when you come to campus very, very soon in Indianapolis. We really can't wait to meet you. I'm going to pass it off back to Craig for some final announcements before we end. Thanks again for watching and joining us today. Take care.
All right. Thanks so much, Virginia. And thanks to everybody watching for listening to our community partners, to listening to the housing and move-in conversation. Now we've got just a few last announcements before we officially close and welcome you back in a few days. And so first, on the screen right now, you've got a handful of bullet points that we want you to take care of before you arrive. Some of these, hopefully you've already completed, but a good reminder and refresher if you have not. The first one right off the bat is complete Purdue 102. The purpose of Purdue 102 is to get you connected with on-campus resources and to refamiliarize yourself with these resources right before you come to campus is going to be really helpful just from a comprehension perspective. So we want you to complete that and do it right before you start your travels. The second piece there, which is pretty similar to 102, is you've been in the My Purdue portal many, many times since May. I am sure of it. So we want you to finalize any outstanding new student task list items. Make sure those boxes that can have check marks do have check marks, that you have a familiarity, an understanding of the tasks that you have completed and those that are left. Make sure you do those. You just don't want to be behind as soon as you get to campus. The third bullet point there, make sure you upload your Purdue mobile ID photo and your Crimson Card photo. There is a gap. If you haven't done this already, there is a waiting process to get those photos approved. And then the most important piece of that is we want you to download the photos to download the cards to your mobile wallet, because if you do not, you may have a delay in your move-in process, in your check-in process. Okay. So don't wait until you get to the greater Indianapolis area, unless you live here already. Don't wait until you get to the greater Indianapolis area to download that to your wallet. We want to make sure you do that ahead of time so that you're not delayed in your check-in at either move-in or the Purdue Student Center for BGR check-in. The next clump of details, these next four, are a combination of things that all fall under checking your Purdue email account. Okay, we want you to review the move-in website for specific move-in information. We want you to review the BGR and BGRi final details website, and we want you to make sure that you're checking your email for an email from your BGR team leader, the one who's going to be guiding you around throughout the week. All of these pieces will be communicated to your @purdue.edu email account. Now, if you're forwarding your email address to a Gmail or another third party, we understand that, but stop it. Stop it. We want you to be checking your Purdue email account because sometimes the forwarding doesn't all work. Sometimes it filters automatically into a spam folder, and Purdue will only send official communications to you, the students @purdue.edu account. These details are the ones that you're going to want to know and refresh yourself with before your arrival. If you don't see them ahead of time, you are going to be behind and at a disservice when you arrive. So make sure that you're checking your Purdue email account, connect it to the Mail app on your phone, your Outlook app on the phone. Make sure you're checking it because that's how and where we're sending all of the information. The final one is a little bit more casual for your socials. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and give us a follow at All Aboard Purdue. Not only are we sending information also there that's important to the final details process, we're also sharing content, pictures, videos throughout the week of Boiler Gold Rush International and Boiler Gold Rush. And then into the school year, we're also going to be sharing all sorts of events that are happening on campus and uplifting it through that medium. And so as you're just scrolling around between classes on your phone, we want to make sure that our Instagram account is in your algorithm to get all sorts of information, not only for orientation, but beyond as well. So lots of information to process. Luckily, this is a YouTube video, so you can always rewind it, fast forward it, and share at different minute marks here as well. Make sure that you're responding to those emails, looking at the communication, and understanding that there's a lot here. It's a lot complicated. It's thorough. But hopefully this helps clarify a lot of that information for you as you prep for your arrival. We are so excited to have you here in Indianapolis in a few short days. Thanks for hanging with us for this video, and we will see you very, very soon on campus.